This is going to be a quick one because it is still handheld. I wanted to just check in today because it is the last day of our official lockdown here in British Columbia, though I have noticed that people have been easing restrictions for a couple of weeks. Ever since it was noted in the press that we would be easing restrictions, people have been doing so ahead of time. And I have some ambivalence about this because I think that it would appear that people somehow have, even though their logic brain knows that the virus hasn't gone anywhere, somehow the easing of restrictions has really relaxed all kinds of things, including physical distancing. And I was in the pharmacy last night to pick something up, and one of the staff members walked within 6 inches of me. And that's not the first time that that's happened when I've been in the pharmacy or in the garden center. And I just really want to encourage everybody to continue with the physical distancing. I know it's hard. I know that it's really, if you're an affectionate or physical touch kind of person, it's really hard to not be able to touch people. But in my mind, if I love somebody, I want them to stay well. And so I am maintaining my physical distance. I have my outlet of my community garden, and I have to keep backing away from people even there, even though it's the rule that we have to stay 6 feet apart. Some people forget and they start to come a little closer. So, please be vigilant. We don't want to see a lot of people become infected again. And our economy cannot stand another shutdown. So, let's do the right thing. So today, I am grateful that I get a moderately sunny day, finally, to be in my garden. I have a second plot, and my garden is pretty much clay. And that's really hard to break. So I have been in there in the mud for the last 2 days because it's been raining, trying to break up the earth, and it's not been really very successful in the mud. Though I have come home with what might appear to be a suntan, but is actually mud. It's a very thin layer of mud. And seriously, I don't know how I get mud in some of the places that I do, but it's a real talent. So today I'm going to be going over to the garden and digging out and creating at least one space for a winter squash of some sort. I'm hoping that I'll get a half a dozen or so planted, but it's really hard work digging in the clay soil. So this year I may give up halfway through. And if I get half my garden, that second garden planted, it'll be a victory. With the problems I have with my post-surgery, I have to be really careful with digging, so it is what it is. And so I'm grateful that it's sunny and I'm not going to be standing in a downpour trying to break up clay. The second thing for which I'm grateful today is that my friends in the garden moved my peat moss for me. It's very heavy. Well, it's too heavy for me to move, and I'm able to get it out, push it out of my car. I've been driving around with a 50-pound bag of peat moss in my driver's seat, and I call him my boyfriend. His name is Pete, and put a hat on him, and he's good to talk to. But they moved it for me, and that was really a blessing for me because I don't know if I could have pushed it as far as I needed to get it to my new garden. I'm going to get a lot of exercise this summer because I have 2 plots, and one is on the far left side of the garden and the other one is on the far right side of the garden. So I get a good amount of walking in between. The third thing for which I'm grateful today is that the second time I planted yellow zucchini, it seems to have actually taken. Some people have been saying that their seeds have not been really great this year, and I can attest to that. So I'm really grateful that this time it seems to have sprouted, and in the summertime they all catch up, so that's okay. My joy actually came last night when I was finishing gardening and it stopped raining, and I took some photographs of the clouds reflecting in a puddle, and I realized that I really don't go out and take photographs because I'm not walking here, I drive. And when I lived in London and in New York, I walked everywhere. So I need to be more mindful of going out and looking, because I love looking and taking photographs. And my moment of connection was that same moment. And there was a bird that was having a bath in this muddy puddle. And it was a really lovely moment of just being in the present moment and being there with this bird, observing the beautiful sky. So I remind you to please continue to be vigilant and to be kind to one another as we begin to come out of our isolation. And I know there's a lot of anger bubbling under the surface, so let's be kind. For what are you most grateful today?